Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for your attention. This is Victor from Spoken Learning, and today I will tell you how easy it is to learn Spanish for an English speaker. This is something that I've been thinking about. Like some people just get like the idea that it's super hard, that there are so many difficulties, and they're going to struggle a lot. And I can tell you that no, it's not the case. It's actually simple in many, many, many situations. And this time, I even went online and looked for many different studies and research to tell you how difficult or how easy in this case is actually learning Spanish for English speakers. I'm gonna start with the same thing. Similar to this says that it's actually very easy or simple to start. Why? Well, first of all, because many English words stem from Latin, just like Spanish. And with that in mind, many of the words can be easily inferred. Let's think about the word hospital. Hospital is actually a very simple word that if you look for the word in Spanish, you will discover that they are the same word, same spelling, hospital and hospital in Spanish. The only thing that changes is the pronunciation, but it's practically the same word. Along with that, you're also going to find false friends. For example, the word embarrassed and embarazada, even though they seem very similar and even the spelling is practically the same, they are not the same word. Embarrassed, it's not the same as embarazada. Embarazada means pregnant. So even though they are very, very similar, there will be words that are not exactly the same. There will be false friends, but most of the time, if you find a word that it's actually very similar, and you will say, I think that I know this word," probably you are correct. Probably you are in the case that yes, that word is the same meaning in Spanish. So the same, different origin, well, no, similar origins for both languages. The second thing is Spanish. We uses the same alphabet. This is true most of it, but there is one letter that is different. Probably you have seen it before. It's the N with the little thingy on top that is called ñ. So the ñ makes it different, a different alphabet. Not exactly the most different, but it's a little bit different. So with that letter in mind, they are a little bit different, but at the same time the rest of the letters is exactly the same. We have something called digraphos, which is two letters together making one single sound. That is something that I can explain to you in class. But right now, I can tell you that yes, we practically use the same alphabet just for the inclusion of ñ, which is not an N, it is a different letter. That is another thing. The alphabet is practically the same. The next thing is the language is phonetic. This means that the pronunciation matches the spelling. That is very, very easy for you to learn. Once that you have started with your lessons, you will discover that you can remember many letters very, very easily, and many vowels and sorry, and many syllables and many words are very easy to remember once that you have seen it once. Because if you find other syllables or words similar to something that you already know, you will discover that, oh, I actually know that sound. I actually know how to go for this word. I actually have an idea of how this might sound because all of the language is phonetic. The way you see it is how the way you say it. Unlike English. That's why for us, in the other way around thinking, for us Spanish speakers, speaking English, it's kind of hard because we are like, well, but I'm seeing this word, and well, according to what Spanish told me, the way I see the word, that's how I pronounce it. But that doesn't work in English. English is different situations, right? So Spanish is simpler than English because it's phonetic. The way you see the word, the way you see the spelling, that's how you do your pronunciation. And you will get more familiar with words simpler and easier ways. That's another one. And words are easier to remember for that same situation, that language is phonetic. And the last one, sentence structure is very similar, but also not as strict as English is. English has a lot of rules and situations that you cannot put this and this, because if you put it in another place, it's going to be a different word or a different sentence. So you have to take that in mind when you're trying to pull up together words. But in Spanish, you can actually make different sentences and structures, and you're not changing that much the meaning of what you want to say. So that's why it's easier for you to wing it in the Spanish language. You can go for the words that you were trying to say, and even though you're not using the perfect structure, it is understandable. But in English, you might end up saying something completely different. So that's why Spanish, as being not as strict with the sentence structure as it is English, it's easier for you. And there is also space for improvisation because you can be easily understood even though you're not saying exactly and perfectly what you were trying to say, but the words are there. As long as you're not changing the words that you were trying to say, you are good to go and you will be understood by most of the people that is speaking Spanish with you. So those are three, no, four, sorry, four different reasons for you to check and say like, well, actually Spanish it's easy to learn for an English speaker. Is something that is something that you will be able to check once that you call 832-403-2166 and you schedule your trial lesson with us in Spoken Learning. You will discover this and more information that we have prepared and tailored for you in your class. That will be all for today. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will see you next time.